Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Sumit Malhorta from Unqork. I'm joined by my esteemed guest, Brian Cassin from AWS. We both are live from Las Vegas attending the AWS reInvent conference. We'll start with these quick intros. My name is Sumit Malhotra, as I said. I'm a Chief Growth Officer at Unqork. My focus is really around expansions with our existing accounts. Some of the top accounts we service today, expanding into new markets globally, and getting into new verticals for our platform. With that, I'm going to turn over to Brian to do his quick intro, and then we're going to go, into a discussion on what's happening in the wealth management space, what are some of the solutions we're building in collaboration with AWS, and some of the trends that Brian is seeing in the market as well. Brian, over to you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. And for all of you live streaming, welcome to reInvent. We're in Las Vegas. It's exciting. We're here with 50,000 of our closest friends, so it's pretty exciting. Unfortunately, I'm in my hotel room because there's so many people at reInvent. I couldn't quite find a spot to do this live. So in any event, thank you again for having me. Right, my name is Brian Cassin. I'm the global head of market development for capital markets at AWS. I lead a team at AWS of ex-industry practitioners. And really what we do is we help across the entire capital market spectrum. Wealth management is a big piece of that. And really help them leverage cloud technologies to solve or enhance for business outcomes and really looking at workflows and how technical solutions can solve those problems or solve those challenges or enhance existing ways they're operating today. My background, I've spent about 25 years in cap markets, all that time in technology, all that time either in business development or product management. A lot of that time that I've spent there is really about, how can I build new products to serve the industry? And you can probably see from my LinkedIn profile, right? I've spent quite a bit of years at a couple of very large firms. I was at a couple of startups. But one of the things that drew me to AWS and to the cloud was when I was a product manager, one of the things that one of the big challenges for me was being able to get proof of concepts out quickly. And, I'd always have to wait for infrastructure to be built or infrastructure to be deployed. And it slowed down my process to be able to test products out in the industry. Additionally, once those proof of concepts proved out, whether I was building a real-time desktop or I was building new research reports or all the types of things that you need heavy scale to be able to build those things out. When we go into production, it was challenging to be able to get the implementation of the infrastructure in place in time to go live on live dates. So I joined AWS about 5.5 years ago with that background saying, I think I can help many customers, wealth managers, investment banks, hedge funds, asset managers, right, financial data providers, all the people that we talk to, and really help them a little bit on the education of the things that I've seen, the things that I've seen that have worked. It's great to be here. And again, thanks for having me.
Great, Brian. Thank you. So we're going to start a little bit around the trends that we are seeing. Brian, I'll hand it over to you to get your thoughts on this as well, and then take a deeper dive on how we all are collaborating and you all are addressing the trends we see. Unqork, wealth management is one of our largest financial services sector that we are servicing. A number of wealth clients, private market, private banks, advisor firms, and so forth. And really around the space of onboarding, client servicing, client portals, and so forth. And this is really around three key trends we see, right? One is around collaboration between advisors and clients, personalization and personalized experiences, advice and recommendations. And third is continuing focus on advisor efficiency. How do you make our advisors more efficient, more effective, taking the time away for doing what I call mundane, support, administrative work into doing more advisory and growing their businesses. With that being the background, Brian, what are you seeing as some of the challenges, some of the trends that you are seeing in the wealth space?
Well, I don't know that. So there are challenges, but I think it's all about improving. I think you just outlined it perfectly. Outlining advisor enhancements or advisor workflow improvements, right? We all know, we've seen the stats, like $70 trillion of assets are going to change hands over the next couple of years as the baby boomers start leaving money to maybe their kids or their grandkids. And a lot of that, when it goes to those individuals, right, they're very digitally savvy. So one of the things that I'm seeing is we need to be able to give our advisors and our customers, when you think about B2C as well, the ability to have more digital capabilities in order to serve those customers. And just a stat, which I thought was super interesting, right? Oliver Wyman came out with a report not that long ago that almost 70% of customers want personalization when they choose a wealth advisor. So one of the things that we're seeing, and a lot of the stuff that Unqork is doing, is how do we help with those workflows? And those workflows you outlined pretty well, right? All across the value chain. What does it look like to help with lead generation, with onboarding, with financial education, with financial planning, with hybrid advising, right? All those types of things. Yeah. When I talk to the wealth management industry, these are the things that they're all starting to think about and say, well, we could build them ourselves. That's one way to go. But we know that it's necessary for us to be able to serve the next generation of, high net worth or ultra high net worth individuals. So.
That's great, Brian. And Brian, I think I want to highlight one thing, and I know AWS is doing a lot of work in this space around digitization. One of the platform we are building in collaboration with AWS is our digital wealth management platform, which is really built around like three key pillars. One is what we call intelligent workflows, right? How do we make sure that the personalization, the collaboration, all those things are being done in an intelligent fashion, right? And it's personalized. Second is integrating Gen AI, right? I do want you to explore that a little bit more. I know we are integrated with Bedrock, which is AWS Gen AI platform, with this platform. And then the last piece is really driving what we call straight through process, right? How do we minimize handoffs, re-entering, and how do we actually integrate into the ecosystem of our clients, the partners, and the ecosystem they have, right? So just, if you don't mind just sharing with us a little bit around what is AWS doing in the space, and where you're using some of the digital technologies advancing to.
Yeah, I think so. That's great. I think there's three main areas that all the wealth management firms and retail asset managers as well, right, are leaning in on. I put a few words. I go to attract, I go to engage, and I go to retain. And those words to me mean a couple of things. First, our customers are thinking about what are ways that they can better identify and attract new customers in. A lot of this is, as I talked about, right, gathering, being able to pull in more of the mass affluent. There's an example we have that a proof of concept from a large private bank. They actually use Gen AI to build a prospecting tool, and using all external data, they were actually able to build a customer 360 profile on potential targets for their advisors to go talk to, right? Think about this as an example, like I want to talk to all recent graduates of the Harvard Business School that live in Los Angeles, right, with a net worth of X, right, and that enjoy golf. And using Gen AI, Bedrock, right, they're actually able to pull this together to be able to say, all right, well, this is my prospect list to go, engage with. Now, that was all with public data, but what we see from this proof of concept is many of the firms are now saying, all right, well, that worked pretty well. What would it look like if I could pull in all of my internal data, right, to be able to get a better view into that type of customer? Maybe they already banked with the broker dealer, et cetera. The next one I'd see is really around engage, right? Engage is all about, once you've brought on the customers, how do you actually give them better tools and a better customer experience? A lot to what you just talked about, right? That's about mobile logins, increasing personalization, right? Insights, next best actions, all those types of things. And we've seen some examples there of, one example is what Vanguard has done. Vanguard has actually leveraged some machine learning capabilities to really, instead of just giving them, this is where you should invest, they actually can analyze a customer's demographics, their goals, their debt, their risk profiles, attributes, and really determine what is the best investment vehicle that can provide like optimal returns for them. So that was a very interesting one. It's a well-known case study that's out there that you can see. And the last one is really retain, right? So once you have these customers and they're engaged with you, right, how do you make sure you keep those customers with you, right? And that's all about holistic financial solution, right? Cross-selling, upselling, all those types of things. And a great example of this is what T. Rowe Price has done, right? They implemented Amazon Connect, which is our omni-channel cloud contact center. And really what they did is they integrated that with some conversational interfaces. And the whole idea behind that was to actually give their analysts more informed, personalized conversations with customers, right? They additionally added some third-party content into those data sets so that they could actually look at the demographics and risk profiles and the holdings of these customers, so that when they came in, it was a very personalized experience. It wasn't just calling a random call center to talk to someone. It gave them the opportunity to actually, I guess I'll use an Amazon LP here, to earn trust with that customer, that they understand them, they know them, and they've actually thought about how they can actually better serve them.
Great. And Brian, we are seeing, we're doing very similar work with a number of our clients as well. Like if you look at, Edward Jones, LPL, JP Morgan Wealth Management, working closely with Goldman Sachs Wealth, a lot of stuff is resonating what you're saying about attract, engage, and retain, right? And we have, been delivering solutions in all three spaces for our clients, which has been super exciting. We one of our clients wanted to sell insurance products because they're not insurance clients, and so we were able to build a marketplace for them through which they could actually build capabilities for their wealth clients to buy insurance from external insurance providers, right? And that marketplace allowed them to get the best pricing, best opportunity for their clients. Similarly, we build portals for our clients where it's leading to self-servicing their customers, where advisors are not filling in a lot of paperwork themselves, right? And they're actually allowing through portals, their clients to interact with them, fill out their information, and it really streamlining the process and reducing the time, right? One example I learned was from a client. It was taking them 2 weeks to do KYC refresh. With building and Unqork, they were able to do it in a couple of hours, right? And that's the kind of shift we are trying to see and make in the market, is where advisors are becoming a lot more effective and not doing this administrative work of filling paperwork, and rather doing more, as I said, through workflows, through digital tools like Unqork.
Yeah, that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because when you're a wealth manager, and I've worked with many of them, the time spent with some of those manual processes of just getting someone ACAT'd over if you brought on a new customer, all of that needs to get simplified, right? The paper pushing is not the best use of time for an advisor, especially then it limits the size of the book that they can have, right?
Exactly.
Because then you need to service all of those, right? So I think that is that is what I talk about also when I speak with customers about how do you attract those customers. And one of those is simplifying that onboarding process. Exactly. Because it almost takes too much time. And I do think we're going to be able to find some of that stuff that you guys have already implemented. I think is fantastic, right? And I think Gen AI and some of these other tools that are out there for machine learning can solve some of those problems.
I think last question from my side, Brian, what are you seeing in terms of the fintech and the AI space? I know we mentioned Bedrock, that one of your key solutions. Where do you see these technologies evolving to in the future?
Yeah, so I hate to use all of everyone talks about Gen AI, but many of these firms already have really nice data estates running on the cloud. And once they have all those materials and artifacts and content that they need in order to better educate and empower their advisors, I think Gen AI is really the next step. And I really do think this is becoming more relevant think about things where we can help advisors with like co-pilots, right? Giving them ideas on the next best action that they can talk to a customer about document searching, right? A lot of times it's really difficult to find the documents that you need, but Gen AI can simplify that process using natural language, inputs, right? And the other one I see is a lot about content summarization and potentially, help them maybe potentially write letters, right? Or write notifications out to their customers to simplify a lot of that process. And one of the things actually just announced today, so I'll plug a little bit of Adam Flitsky's keynote. Amazon Q just I think it was launched today. I think it might be in preview, but it's a Gen AI business tool. I just think it's amazing, right? So it's going to simplify the process for those that are not as tech savvy to be able to use these Gen AI tools. And you think about it, what does it do really? It's all about connecting all of your data sources, business data, information, and to be able to generate content and be able to take actions off the relevant information from your business. Right now, what I read this morning, right, it connects to about 40 popular enterprise applications and document repositories. So the idea is be able to aggregate all that data together, right, put it into a single structure so that it's easy for your response mechanism of Amazon Q to be able to pull that information back. So delivering quick, accurate, and relevant answers to business related questions across a whole bunch of applications that you may have in your estate already.
Yeah, absolutely. And the wealth digital wealth platform we built actually leverages some of the stuff you mentioned, like content summarization, doc searching, already built and integrated with Bedrock solutions. That's amazing. Brian, before we close out, anything else you wanted to share with the group here, and before we wrap up?
No, I did. So again, thanks for having me. But I think it's just an exciting time. I do think Gen AI and machine learning is going to change the game for many of the wealth managers that I know and talk to all the time. I do think there's the ability for them to be able to spend more time talking to their customers with relevant conversations, being able to cross-sell or upsell services that they have. You talked about insurance, right? It could be insurance, it could be financial planning, it could be a whole bunch of things that when you know these customers and it's easier for you to aggregate all the information together, it's a game changer, I think.
Absolutely. To learn more about what we're doing in the wealth space, please visit our booth at AWS reInvent. We have booth number 373, or please visit our website and we'll schedule time to share more details around all the great work that's happening in this space. With that, I would like to thank everyone for listening in. And Brian, thank you so much for your time. I know how busy you are, so really appreciate you joining me for this live.
No, super appreciated. And just like Unqork, right? If there are conversations that you want to have and go deeper on some of this, we actually are right by the Unqork booth, right? We're in the reInvent Expo Center. To the level 2 in the Venetian, right? We're on the AWS for Industries Pavilion. I'll be there all day tomorrow, most of the morning, but happy to actually connect and have joint conversations if any of this has resonated with you guys. And again, I super appreciate you guys just taking some time to have me on the call and bringing AWS into the conversation.
Great. Thank you so much, Brian. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.